Hello everyone, welcome back to another late war isolation battle report for Flames of War. Today's game I'm going to be playing against Sherry using FaceTime again, and she's going to be trying out the British, and I'm going to be attacking with the Germans in the cornered mission. So what am I taking today? I am taking a company of Fallschrimjager from the 2nd Fallschrimjager Division. So that's using the command card Defenders Abreast. What you get for that is you have to drop a platoon of Fallschrimjager for beach defenders, and all your Fallschrimjager units in that formation get spearhead, and that's 2 extra points. So it's not too bad. Why have I taken it? I'm not sure. It just sounded quite interesting at the time, so just thought I'd give it a go. So my force is a Fallschrimjager HQ, and in that is just the HQ, just MP40 teams, and then I have a full platoon of Fallschrimjager with Panzerfaust, a Panzerschreck, and a HMG team. Second platoon is the same, and of course here's my beach defenders with a Panzerfaust, and I also have 4 12cm mortars in this formation as well. Second formation, keeping with the Fallschrimjager, I have a Fallschrimjager StuG company consisting of 2 for the HQ, a platoon of 4, and a platoon of 3, and that is my 109 point list of Fallschrimjagers. And let's have a look what Sherry's decided to take. So here we have the D-Day British list that Sherry's going to be using. She is taking the Sherwood Rangers DD squadron. So that is the Sherman DD Armoured Squadron with the Sherwood Rangers command card. So basically this takes 1 point off each platoon of tanks and changes the motivation to a reluctant 5+, and a remount cautious but not stupid, that's a 4+. And in the formation we have a HQ of 3, 2 troops of 3, and at the back we have 3 Fireflies and also 3 Stuarts. So in total that's 5 points off that formation. In support is a company of paratroopers. So we have the HQ, which is just 2 Sten gun bases, and then we have a full platoon of 7 rifle Bren gun teams with 2 Piats, and second platoon is the same. In support we have 4 Saxtons, so again that's the priests with a command card, takes 2 points off the priests, and then basically the stats are a 25 pounder, a movable 25 pounder, but the armour is slightly less than the priest, and also 4 M10 17 pounders in support, and that's the 109 points of British. They'll be defending in this mission, so most likely the Sherwood Rangers, apart from their Stuarts, will all be in reserve. So let's have a look at the map before we start messing up with objectives and units. So here is the map before any objectives ruin the beautiful board and any models and tanks start blowing up. So I've done my best to try and recreate my local village. Obviously it looks nothing like this, but I try my best. So we've got a nice hill here with a church and some buildings, forest, nice line of terraced houses, more forest, some hills, and then there's a river across the board with some crossing points, a couple of bridges, and then a road running along the back there with some trees in between. And then we have some hedges and some fields. So here we go. Sherry's now going to pick her corner to defend, and then I'll be going from the opposite side. Sherry has opted to defend this corner of the table, so that's the hill with the church. Decided not to go with defending the town. I think we've all learned that defending towns is not as straightforward as it seems. You lose a lot of fire lanes, and it can disrupt you more than the enemy. So I'll be attacking from this side over here, so at least I can use the town to creep up on the British, and this is where I have put my objectives. Put one on the road, try to keep away from this building here, and I've got one up here, so just try to split the British deployment up as much as I can. So Sherry will be picking what will be starting, Most likely it will be the infantry, tank destroyers, etc. And then I'll be deploying. We are finally deployed. We have a platoon of paratroopers along with the HQ in this building here, right next to this objective. Over in the field we have the Sextons. The Stuarts have deployed here and then spearheaded up the road, so I cut my spearhead off. We have another platoon of paratroopers in this church, and there's 2 more teams in this building here. In ambush are the 4 M10s. That's probably the best thing to put in ambush. As for my deployment, I have a platoon of Fallschrimjager here with the HQ and the beach defenders. I have a unit of 3 StuGs by here, the 12cm mortars in the field, the HQ StuGs, and then I have a spearhead deployment using the Fallschrimjager platoon, and Fallschrimjager units can deploy in the spearhead, so I put the StuGs here, and that's as far as I could push up because of the Stuarts, so they've really cut me off here. So Germans have first turn, so good luck to Sherry, and here we go again for another quarantine battle report. In my movement, I've moved as much as I can into this terrace building here. The Fallschrimjager teams are very big, so just about managed to get more bar 2. So I decided to keep the HQ in their foxholes here. Grenadiers moved up into the building, again not enough room for everyone. This platoon of 3 StuGs here failed the blitz, so they're not moving because they can just about scrape the first 2 Sextons. These guys did pass their blitz, so they'll have a couple of shots at the Sextons as well if they're in range. The StuGs over here failed their blitz, so I just tactically moved them, so hopefully I can pick off, it looks like only 1 Stuart. This platoon of Fallschrimjager passed a blitz, then tactically moved, and then did a follow me, which I believe you can do because they can do 2 in the same turn because of the stormtroopers. So that's that, so now we're going to go into shooting. German shooting, I fired all my StuGs in the centre at the Saxons. I didn't get a single hit. I did get a few hits on the paratroopers in this building, but unsuccessful to kill any, so just 1 platoon pinned down. Over up here by the crossroads, or the T-junction should I say, the StuGs did take out 1 Stuart, and that is my turn. So we're now going into British turn 1. Sherry, you have a pinned down paratrooper team to rally.
Right here. I only got 1 on that, so I didn't rally him.
What did you get?
1.
Okay, but you get a reroll because of your formation commander.
Ah, right, okay. A 5.
Okay, yep, so that is enough to unpin them. Okay, so now you have a choice. So are you going to bring in your ambush?
No, I'll leave it be for another turn.
Okay, and you get 1 dice to roll for reserves.
Okay. I got 4.
Okay, so that's not quite enough. So that is it for the startup step for the British, and now they're going into movement. British movement, the Stuarts have tactically moved away from the bridge. They're keeping their front armour towards this group over here, because they're still, because they're scout units, they'll be gone to ground even though they've moved. So hopefully these StuGs won't try their luck at firing at them. That's it for the British movement, so they're going into shooting. British shooting wasn't too bad. The Saxons rearranged in here. They got it on the 3rd attempt, and they managed to kill a StuG. So it wasn't too bad actually. The paratroopers opened up onto my paratroopers in the building by here, getting 4 hits and getting 1 kill as well. So I think these British dice roll 6s quite a bit. So going into my turn 2. That is done. I have no build out tanks, no pin down units, so I am free to go into German movement. My movement, I pushed the grenadiers up, keeping them in bulletproof cover because I know how much they can drop. The Fallschrimjager occupy this terrace and one room here, and the HQ have moved in as well. All the StuGs have pushed up. These guys did really well, passing 2 6s for their cross checks. Nice to see the StuGs getting into terrain. The problem is trying to get them out, I think, but they're in concealment. Also as well, these StuGs have tactically moved as well, along with the infantry. I think I'm giving up on blitz moves for now, since I don't seem to be able to roll them even with veteran units. So now we're going into shooting, and hopefully I can maybe take away a couple of these paratroopers. German shooting, with a lot of StuGs firing, I only managed to bail the 2 Stuarts. So hopefully one of them won't get in, and then Sherry will have to do that terrible last stand of theirs. Saxtons are still untouched. Here, bit of a bloodbath. That is how many bases of paratroopers were lost to artillery, grenadiers and paratrooper shooting. So 5 bases from the platoon, that's including the Piat, which is 6, and also a HQ team. So that's dropped those paratroopers a lot. So it's leaving that objective a bit less defended, but there's going to be reserves coming in. So, Sherry, you have 2 bailed out tanks, and they're remounting on 4s because of the Sherwood Rangers rule. So 2 dice needing 4s.
Thank you. Well, I got 2 5s.
Alright, so luckily they're back in. Okay. And then you have a pinned down paratrooper platoon rallying on a 3.
Okay. Got a 6.
Okay, and then for the HQ as well.
Okay. Got a 6 on that as well.
Oh, nice. So good rallying. And are you going to bring in your ambush this turn?
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Okay, so we'll do that in the movement step. And you've got 2 dice for reserves, Sherry.
Okay. 6 and a 3.
Okay, so that's 1 unit coming in. So we'll let Sherry decide, and we'll see where they're coming in from, which is going to be this corner anyway, but it's up to Sherry how she moves them. British movement, the M10's popped up by here. A regular unit of Shermans moved in across the road, and the Stuarts have tactically moved down here as well. So that is it for British movement. We're now going into shooting. British shooting, the Stuarts have successfully pinned down this grenadier team here, managed to kill 1. The M10s took out one of the HQ StuGs, and the Saxons ranged in on the river, and they've taken out one of the bases of Fallschrimjager and have also pinned them as well. So going into German turn 3, I have no bailed out tanks, but I have 2 pinned down units. So I have my grenadier team, which is rallying on a 4+. That is a 6, so just check if it's cocked. It is not cocked. And then I have my Fallschrimjager team up here, and they rally on a 3 as well. So that is all my motivation done, and now I'm going into movement. In my movement, I've brought my Fallschrimjager to an assault range. Check the template, still okay for danger close because the template is basically kind of halfway over the building, so it covers all the bases in the building, but it gives enough room for assault. Grenadiers are going to form up as well. All the StuGs are staying still. I tried doing a blitz move on the Fallschrimjager over here so I could get them to move a bit quicker. Again, I failed. I need to learn my lesson with blitz moves, so I just tactically moved them all around my StuGs, so keep my StuGs given a clean line of fire for the Saxtons, so they seem to be doing a lot of damage to me at the moment. So, German shooting. In the shooting step, there's only 2 more teams remaining in this building, a Piat and a paratrooper rifle team. The HQ has died and was unable to swap over. My StuGs finish off these 2 Stuarts by here, and these sextons are untouchable at the moment. I can't seem to hit them at all. So I am going to go into an assault. I'm going to be assaulting with my paratroopers onto the British paratroopers, and I'm going to see how this goes. So my paratroopers charged into the house. I killed the team holding the Piat. The paratroopers rallied and killed one of the Fallschrimjager. My Fallschrimjager then failed their counterattack, even with the formation commander shouting at them to get back in. So the job was up to the beach defenders. So 4 of them courageously charged across the alleyway, taking a hit, but not taking any casualties. And then 4 mighty swings, needing a 5, and they finished off the paratroopers. So the rest of them are in this building, and these 2 couldn't quite make it with their consolidatory move. So that's the HQ, and a platoon of paratroopers gone. So in Sherry's startup step, unfortunately, these paras are going. So in Sherry's startup step, she has no pin down units. Formation last stand, these are going. And now you have 3 dice for reserves. Jerry?
Yep. A 6, 4, and 1.
Right, so Sherry gets another unit reserves in. She would anyway, so we'll get back to you with what she's picking. British movement, so here's the HQ Shermans that have moved on. The rest of the armour has pushed up the road slightly. So the M10's just behind this hedge, and the Shermans getting ready to retake. Oh no, they're already on the objective, so they're holding it quite well right now. So we're going into British shooting. With British shooting, the Saxons again are really proving their worth, killing another Stug, taking out my Panzerschreck, which is great, and pinning my Fallschrimjagers. Apart from that, no successful hits from the British. There was 1 hit with a Sherman on a Stug, but it bounced off at the range with the armour as well. So going into my startup step, I have a pin down Fallschrimjager team that unpin, and I also have a pinned Fallschrimjager team that took a hit in assaults, and they unpin as well. So cracking on now with my movement. German movement, I have pushed my Fallschrimjager up. I'm going to try and go into the woods and maybe go from there onto these tanks. This house now is brimming with beach defenders and a Fallschrimjager HQ team, so hopefully they'll stick around a bit longer. I finally did a blitz move. I thought I might as well give it another go. So everything within 6 managed to move. Everything else is trying to catch up. But I'm trying to get away from that template, and these guys are just going to stay where they are. So we're going into German shooting. Also pushed Grenadier up, so he is contesting that objective. But there's a lot of stuff here at the moment, so got to deal with these first. So going into shooting. German shooting, I managed to range in the 12cm mortars by here, and I got nothing, and out of all my Stugs firing, I basically bailed an M10. So I'm going to try and do a blitz move, a shoot and scoot now, to try and get this Stug into cover. So on a 2, that is not enough, so he is stuck there. And these guys up here, might as well try the same with them as well. So I get a 4, so that is enough. So I'll move them, and then Sherry will go into a startup step. Sherry?
Anyway.
Right, so you have a bailed out M10 mounting back in on a 4.
Okie dokie. I got 3, so now.
No, so he's stuck there, and then you have 3 dice for reserves.
Okay. Well, I got a 2, 6, and a 3.
Okay, so that's 1 in. So that is the end of the startup step, and we'll see what Sherry's bringing in. End of British movement. Looks like the Sherwood Rangers are going to try and to assault these Fallschrimjager after mowing them down with MGs, of course. The rest of the Shermans have moved up, so this is the HQ. This is where the Fireflies have ended up. And that is it for British movement. The M10s are remaining stationary, and I'll probably lose a few Stugs this turn. Okay, so British shooting. British shooting, the Saxons have ranged in again. No hits. No, actually, had a few hits, but I bounced with the top armour. These Shermans used their MGs and they managed to kill only 2 Fallschrimjager, so I'm guessing they're still going to persist with the assault. These M10s managed to bail one of the StuGs over here. These guys managed to kill one of the Grenadiers in this building, and these Fireflies are just out of range. So we are going into a tank assault, and luckily I do have a Panzerschreck, a Panzerfaust, and another Panzerschreck here, so hopefully I can stop this. Unfortunately, the assault hit a bit of a brick wall. A hit from a Panzerschreck and a Panzerfaust managed to kill one Sherman and bail the other, so they're in a bit of trouble by there. So going into my turn 5, I have a bailed out StuG by here, so hopefully I can get that back in. I don't on a 1, and I have a pinned down unit by here. They don't unpin, but I do have my HQ unit. They still don't unpin, so then I have a last stand test to do on those StuGs. And they run away. That is brilliant. So, going into my movement, and I've lost a unit to StuGs. So I have moved my Fallschrimjager like so, to try and get hold of these, and hopefully I can block off a couple of shots from this lot here, so I won't get my assault stalled. I did another blitz move over here with the StuGs, so they can have their full rate of fire, and the rest of the Fallschrimjager over here have moved, and the Grenadiers can't do anything. Well, I might as well try and get them to dig in on A5. No, it's just for the guy outside. So they're just going to remain there and potentially just go to ground, although they could still fire their Panzerschreck there, but I don't know. I'll come up with a decision at some point. So, German shooting. In the shooting step, I managed to kill another M10 with the StuGs. Kept on this guy getting bailed out. I did try an assault. I lost about 3 Fallschrimjager in doing it, and I didn't even get into the tanks anyway because these guys were behind, which is unfortunate, but hopefully he won't get back in, and then hopefully they'll run away. So going into British turn 5, Sherry, you've got a bailed out Sherman getting back in on A4.
Yep. I got 3.
Okay, but you get a reroll because your formation command's right behind.
Okay. Got 2.
Right, so you stay out. Your M10 is getting back in on a 4.
Right. Got a 1.
Okay, but you get a reroll. What you get?
A 4.
Okay, so he's back in. So that is it for bailed out tanks. So you do have a last stand test to do on this unit, and it's going to be on a 5 because they're reluctant.
Right, yeah. I got a 5.
Okay, so they're sticking around. And then you get your 4 dice for, well, more than 4 for reserves. So you get your Shermans in anyway. So we'll see where Sherry ends up with movement. So that is the last of the British Shermans on from reserve, and here they all are. The Fireflies are moving to the woods, and everything else is remaining stationary, just going to use MGs to tie down the rest of the infantry. Happy to leave everything else as it is. So, British shooting. British shooting, another Fallschrimjager team got taken out, and also a StuG got completely obliterated by a M10. So going into German turn 6, the objectives become active now. So I have a pin down Grenadier team that rally on a 4, a Fallschrimjager team that rallies, and that is it for my motivation step. I've decided to dig in my remaining Fallschrimjager here. These guys are remaining stationary. These guys passed a blitz move and are pushing for this objective over here, and all my remaining StuGs are remaining still, and hopefully I can take away some of these M10s. Right, so German shooting. German shooting with the StuGs and 12cm mortars. I managed to bail out 2 M10s, so hopefully they'll stay bailed out. With Panzerschrecks and Panzerfausts, I managed to bail 2 more Shermans. So this one was double bailed, but then he successfully passed thanks to the motivation of the formation commander. So going into British turn 6, Sherry has 2 bailed in tests to do on his Shermans, mounting back in on a 4+. Sherry?
Ready?
Right, so you got 2 dice. On 4s, your Shermans are mounting back in.
Okay. Got a 4 and a 5.
Okay, so they are back in. And then the same again with your M10s.
Thank you. 2 and a 4.
Okay, so but you get to re-roll your 2 because of your formation commander.
Okay. I got a 1.
Okay, right, so he remains bailed in, and that is it for your motivation. So everyone is good because these are all back in, so it's straight back into British movement. British movement, these 2 troops of tanks are getting ready to assault the Fallschrimjager. The HQ will try and get rid of the grenadiers, they try and push them away off the objective, and in reaction to my flanking move on this objective, 3 more tanks are being diverted to hold this one, while the M10s will deal with the formation commander over here. So, British shooting. British shooting summary, even with all the MGs here, no pinned down Fallschrimjager or dead Fallschrimjager for that matter. Over here though, the Grenadiers were already pinned and have lost another team in the building. Over here, none of these perished, luckily. And my StuGs over here, okay, but it doesn't matter because the M10s rolled 3 6s to hit the formation commander, so the StuGs are gone. So my tanks are gone and Sherry's infantry are gone, so I think I'd rather tanks in this scenario. So the British, I'm guessing, are going to do an assault, so let's see which one are going to go first. Summary of the assaults. So as you can see here, they didn't go so well for the Sherwood Rangers. So the Fireflies did get in and they did hit a Fallschrimjager unit. They lost, they got 1 bailed anyway when they came in, and then the other 2 got bailed out with the assaults. The team by here counter-attacked to try and help them out, but they failed, even with a reroll, so they all died. The HQ unit assaulted the Grenadiers here, and with anti-tank weapons, 2 got killed because there's still a Panzerschreck by here. So unfortunately, these assaults didn't go very well. So going into my turn 7, I have a pinned down Fallschrimjager unit by here. That unpins, and a Grenadier unit that unpins as well. So everything is unpinned, and last standing formations, my StuGs over behind the trees here, drive away, they've had enough. German movement, the Grenadiers have stayed put, the remaining Fallschrimjager have moved around, and these guys are pushing up into the field as well. So, German shooting. The Great Beach Grenadiers managed to finish off the formation commander with their Panzerschreck. With a combination of Panzerschrecks and Fausts, I managed to bail 2 more Shermans, so now it gives me the dilemma of, am I going to charge in, knowing that these guys can fire at them, and these guys can fire at them. My Panzerschreck did hit the Sherman over here, but Sherry managed to bounce it with a 6, which is very good. So I'm going to have a little decision whether I'm going to assault again with this lot. I decided I am not going to assault this turn because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 tank units that can fire when I come in, so even if I don't get pinned, I'm probably going to lose a lot of guys anyway. So Sherry, you're going into your startup step. So you've got a bailed out Sherman that's going back in on a 4.
Okay. Or 1.
Okay. Another Sherman that's going back in on a 4.
Okay.
Okay, so he is back in. You've got an M10 that is going back in on F4.
Or 5.
Okay, so he's back in. And then you've got a last stand test to do on this Sherman on a 5. Now, just to let you know, Sherry, if you fail this, it's game.
Okie dokie.
So no pressure.
Oh, I got 2.
Oh no. So unfortunately, this one is gone now. Drives away. So leaving only one unit there. So unfortunately the formation is broke and the victory goes to the Germans, but only a minor victory. So again, a great game to Sherry. I'll just get a Kimbo with my phone on FaceTime and using the camera. So yeah, this is the end. So this Sherman, as you can see, Sherry with the build-up marker, ran away because he couldn't get back in. They had to do a last stand test, and unfortunately the Sherwood Rangers are very reluctant. But unfortunately you did manage to hold this corner very well. I think this is why I really needed that good turn of shooting there, helped me out. But yeah, did you enjoy that, Sherry, with a FaceTime battle? Dave said it was a bit strange.
It is strange, but it is pretty decent as well. It's just hard to hear the sound sometimes, that's all. But aside from that, it's really good.
Yeah, we had technical difficulties at some points in the game. But as I was explaining to Sherry, it's kind of like a strategy battle game, like an online strategy game, but with all voice command really. But hopefully we're going to try and figure out a way for Sherry and Dave to have a game, so I'm just the middleman moving everything. But no, it's well, the only thing we can do at the moment, considering we're all in lockdown, isn't it, Sherry?
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, it's guess me to use the models, guess to use the British, and I'm glad Sherry used the Sherwood Rangers because I was eyeing them up, but not sure about their reluctancy at the moment. But what do you think of the new British units, Sherry?
I think they're pretty good if you know how to use them properly. I mean, you're right about the reluctancy kind of thing.
Yeah, but no, you got rid of the StuGs. Yeah, I think the problem is although I lost all my armour, the problem is you had to kind of assault my units, of which case your units are not brilliant. They can go in and hit the first group, but then if they fail their motivation, that's it really. Like basically you lost all those tanks down there just because of poor motivation really.
Yeah.
Worth a shot though, but nah, so that is the game for today. I hope you enjoyed. Please show your appreciation by subscribing. A lot of you done so already. And I'll try and get another game by the end of next week.